Hi, everybody. I'm back. It's good to see you. Well, I can't really see you, but you know what I mean. I kind of picture like I'm talking to somebody because it makes it feel less weird to talk to my phone. But so, anyways, it's nice to be back. It's nice to see you, I guess. Um, my name is Laura, and this is my YouTube channel. This is called I Heart Knitting. And as the name suggests, there is a lot of knitting content. Especially this week, I think pretty much all I have for you is knitting content. This is going to be kind of like an April/early May update. It's been almost a month since I recorded last, and not for any particular reason other than just things got busy and then I didn't record. So the good news is I have some major progress to catch you up on because I have finished a sweater, I've started a new one, and same thing with a pair of socks. I finished a pair of socks and I started a new one. So yeah, so that's all going to be coming up in the next little bit. First of all, for some like administration stuff, I would just like to thank everyone who joined the Scrappy Socks Knit Along on Instagram. So that was over the month of April, and it was just really fun to see all your projects. Like I said, I wanted to thank you if you joined in, and it's just really fun to see what everyone's working on, and really fun to see just get some inspiration or maybe some ideas on, just some people did such a good job of like combining their colors. And then the person who actually ended up winning the knit along, they spun their own yarn out of like different scrappy bits of wool, and then they knit a pair of scrappy socks, and they finished the whole thing within the month, which I am just like so impressed with. So yeah, anyways, thanks for joining that. It was really fun for me. I am gonna start another knit along, but I probably won't announce it quite yet. I think I'm gonna announce it in the next video, and I think it's gonna be a longer one, and it's gonna run throughout the summer. So if you have any ideas of like a theme or something like that you would like to do, I was thinking about maybe doing summer projects, mostly just because I want to start knitting a tee, and that will, you know, that'll help motivate me. But if you have any other ideas, if you think that the summer knits idea is a good idea, or yeah, just let me know what you seem to work on in the summer, because for me in the summer, I don't get as much knitting time. Just, it doesn't get dark as, like, it gets dark a lot later here than it does in the winter. So we're just not sitting on the couch for hours on end in the evenings like we sometimes are in the winter. So my projects tend to be like sometimes more portable, like a lot of like smaller projects, but then often in the summertime, if we go, say we go on a road trip or something, I will bring like a sweater whip and try and get some work done on that. So I often have like a sweater going during the summer, even though it's not something I'm going to wear in the summer. So yeah, so let me know what you think about that. Do you think it should just be like a kind of like summer, we could just do like a summer vacation knit along, and you can just post your photos of, your wherever you are, your backyard or anything, or we could make it more specific to like summertime type garments. I'm just not sure how to, like, whether you prefer having like a really open-ended knit along theme, or whether you would prefer something more specific. And I guess that might change like depending on your personality. But yeah, let me know if you have any thoughts about any of that. Leave me a comment. I'm figuring all this out, so it's nice to have your input. I really appreciate that. And some of you are a lot more experienced with knit-alongs than I am. I join them occasionally, but I know there are a lot of people out there with a lot more experience than me. So anyways, let me know if you have any suggestions. Thank you for joining the Scrappy Socks Cal if you did join. I didn't finish my project that I started for the month of April, but this is actually a great segue. I think I've showed you this mug before. This is my David's tea mug, and I'm having coffee today. But yeah, something I did finish this month is the scrappy socks that I started. I think I started them in March, so I didn't want to count them as my no long entry. But these were my stress knits 7-day Advent socks. So those are finished, and I forgot to put them on the blockers. I had the bag and I grabbed it, but you've seen these already a few times, and I think I told you last time I did 66 stitches instead of 64, and that was just to get the repeat for this little slip stitch pattern here. I did that over 6 stitches. So when I changed colors, I slipped the first stitch in the round, and then every 6th stitch afterwards all the way through. You can see it pretty well in the toe there. So yeah, it just creates a little bit of interest. So yes, this was out of my stress knits advent that I got. It was like a mystery advent. It was 7 days that you got to open. So I used the one color for the cuffs, heels, and toes, and then I alternated the other 6 through the sock. And so I had 20-gram minis, so I have quite a bit left over. What I ended up using was about 15 grams for the cuffs, heels, and toes. I just dropped it on the floor, but it's just a little ball I was going to show you. And then if you can see here, like 2 of the stripes I used 3 times. So 2 of the colors I used 3 times, there, there, and there. And the other ones I only used 2 times in each sock. So I ended up using, I think, about 12 grams total of this. I think I had 8 grams left. And then the opposite here, I think I used 8 grams. So yeah, so what does that mean math-wise? I can't do the math right now, but you're only going to use a few grams for each stripe. Like if you had a few more colors and you didn't need to repeat, you know, this extra one. I still have lots of yarn left over. I have several little balls left, but now these will be great for, you know, sock heels or just scraps in my scrap bin. It's a really good little variety of colors. So that is Stacy of Stress Knits. Oh, sorry, bump the camera. She has a really great podcast. She is, I think, doing monthly podcasts now, and just dyes beautiful yarn. So that was like a little Christmas treat to myself, and I waited a little bit till I got the perfect project, and yeah, I finished those last month. I finished those just after I think I podcasted last time, maybe a few days. I was almost finished. And what I've been doing with my socks this year when they're finished is just putting them in my box back here. I'm not sure if you can see. Yeah, I think you can. There's a record button in my screen, but I don't think you're going to see that. Anyways, that's a beautiful cedar box that a friend of mine made. He actually made this shelf for me as well that it's sitting on. And that's where I put gifts or, you know, just things that I've finished knitting that don't have a home yet, or like an intended person to go to. But I'm also turning it into kind of like a box of socks. And I've been doing that for like a little while now, not quite a year, maybe 6 months or so. But I want to go through and like wear out some of the socks that are in my current sock bin that I use every day, my box of socks that I'm actually wearing. I just want to wear a few of those out before I start wearing all my brand new socks. Very happy with these. Can't wait to wear them, maybe next winter. Yeah, we'll see. So that's my first finished object. And then the second thing I finished is my nurtured sweater. And I haven't blocked it yet. I didn't want it to be wet. I wanted to record this first, but it's really, really nice. I wish I could show you kind of the full thing. I guess I could just sort of lift it like this. But this is the Nurtured Sweater by Andrea Mowry. It has that really nice slipped stitch. It's like a slipped garter design, I guess. I really like the short rows in the collar. I feel like this collar is like really, really clean. You can see on the front how, you know, the short rows, she's managed to write the short rows so that they don't get kind of interrupted when you're shaping the collar, which is really, really nice. You can see on the back, it's just sort of straight. And then on the front, it makes this really nice, like, looks like a commercial sweater, I guess, where the collar is kind of set in a little lower. Really happy with this. It is a bottom up sweater, so I knit the sleeves first and then cast on down below here and all the way up to joining it together, doing the raglan decreases. And the sleeves are a little tight, honestly. When I've tried it on, this is the third size, which I think should be about 40 or 42 inches around. So it is my size and it fits well in the body, but the sleeves are a little tight. So I'm hoping that that will block out a little bit. I think it's just the way that the join is right now. It's just, you know, I think either with blocking or maybe over time with wearing, I think my shoulder will like kind of find a spot in there, if that makes sense. Like I find with wool garments, when you first wear them the first few times, they feel a little stiff, and then especially if it's 100% wool like this is, as you wear it, it sort of settles into your body, like it almost blocks on your body as you wear it, you know. So I think despite the sleeves being a little tight, I think it will be okay once it's blocked and once I've worn it a bit. I'm really, really happy with it. I love how it's turned out. So yeah, I'm I'm actually really just hoping that that sleeve problem goes away, because I'm very happy with it otherwise. And I have kind of bigger arms. They're not huge, but they're bigger. So it's not surprising. And I know that some of Andrea's patterns do have, like, I think my Comfort Fade Cardi has pretty tight sleeves on it as well. But as I wore that, it relaxed. So that is the only negative thing I have to say about the pattern. I did knit the body a bit longer. I think I knit 11 inches before I did my, well, I guess it's the opposite. Anyways, I did the 2 inches of ribbing and then I did 11 inches of the body before I took the sleeves off. I'm thinking about it the opposite way, the way I normally do sweaters, the way my current sweater is. Yeah, so it's a little bit longer, but it's still, you know, it's still shorter than what I would normally wear. It kind of hits me like right at where my pants would hit, like kind of just right at my belly button. So this is like a good like easing into cropped sweaters for me, because it's not something that I'm really comfortable wearing, and I don't think that that's anything about how it looks on me. I think it's just a me thing. I'm just not used to wearing cropped sweaters. So I'm looking forward to this one because I think it's going to be a really good transition sweater into slightly more cropped sweaters. I think I can feel comfortable in this, but I can get used to like not having all that extra fabric, you know, closer to my hips that I'm used to when I'm wearing a sweater. So yeah, I really hope that it works out that way. In my head, I'm wearing this, you know, at the beach this summer, you know, in the evenings when it starts to get cool by the water. That's the picture I have in my head, you know, like denim shorts and sand on my feet and wool sweater. And that just sounds perfect to me. So hopefully that's how it works out. So the yarn I used is Knit Picks Simply Wool Worsted. So that is one of their undyed kind of eco-friendly lines. It's Oeko-Tex certified. So that's the tag here, Simply Wool Worsted Weight. It is, let's see here, 218 yards to 100 grams. So 100 gram balls. I used 4 full skeins, and then this is my 5th skein. So if I went by the weight of the yarn that I should have used, it said that I used about 435 grams total. But then when I weighed the sweater weighs about 465 grams total. So I think that my balls of yarn were a little heavy to start with, but that just gives you an idea. I did buy 6 skeins total because I wanted to add some length to it. So I have an extra skein plus this. And that was on the 3rd size, which I believe is 40 to 42 inches. So yeah, that should give you an idea of kind of yardage you'll use. If you do the crop, it'll be a little bit shorter. This color is called, I think it's just called Winnie. It does, oh yeah, here it says, yeah, it's Winnie. So just a really nice, kind of between like a beige and an oatmeal color. Yeah, really pretty. I think that's all I have to say about the sweater. Yeah, really happy with it. Sleeves, we're gonna hope that that shit's gonna block out. It's all gonna block out. So yeah, I would highly recommend that pattern. I really love Andrea Mowry's patterns. That's just a personal thing. I like her style, and I like her designs. They just, a lot of them appeal to me. And I think I used the needles called for. Yeah, really happy with it. And I immediately cast on another sweater, which I'll show you in a minute. I kind of use that, the Nurtured, to motivate me to finish so that I could start my next sweater. And then I'm pretty sure I showed you these last time, but I thought I'd pull them out again and show you, because I've made some progress on them. So this is a Gauge Dye Works skein of yarn that I wasn't sure what it was going to do. It was a Studio Second, and a lot of times Gauge Dye Works does like kind of faded or short self-striping. And this one's a little different. It's like a color block. So what I realized is, like, I knew I was buying a second, so I didn't know what I was going to get. That's totally fine. And it was labeled, like Gauge Dye Works labels their skeins as either classic stripes or shawl stripes. So their shawl stripes are meant for an increasing shawl, where as your stitches increase, your stripes will stay the same width apart, so they increase the amount of yarn in each stripe in proportion to your increases on your shawl. So what that means is you can knit a triangular shawl but have repeats of, say, 10 row stripes going all the way through. So anyway, so this was labeled as classic because it is like a classic stripe. It doesn't change stripe widths at all. But when I realized what it was doing, I started doing some research to try and find the colorway that this was based on. You know, maybe not quite right, but close enough. And I realized that the colorway was for a shawl kit. So it's not a triangular shawl, it's a rectangular shawl. But what it means is that they're big stripe repeats. So it's going to be like big block of pink, big block of yellow, and now we're going to do a big block of gray. So I actually thought about pulling these out because I was like, oh, I should make a shawl with it. That'll be better. But I'm probably never going to do that. To be honest with you, I'm probably never going to get around to knitting a shawl with this. I don't knit a lot of rectangular shawls. So I thought I'd just keep going. And they're going to be kind of, not weird, but they're going to be different, like color block socks, where it's like, looks as if I've used 3 different skeins of yarn. And I think I'm okay with that. So yeah, I've like thought about this a lot as I'm knitting it, whether or not I should go back and rip it out and maybe find something else. But like, let's be honest here, the socks are like 2/3, the first sock is 2/3 knit. I might as well just keep going with it and finish the pair of socks and then put them in my box of socks or my gift pile or whatever. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I like the colors together. They have just a little bit of kind of variation within them. So it just makes it kind of interesting. So yeah, different, not exactly what I was expecting. But they're still fun to knit. Gauge Dye Works has a really nice yarn base. It's really round and a little thicker than traditional sock yarn. I just wound this one by hand. But it's really nice to work with, and it makes really nice durable socks at the end as well. So yeah, Gauge Dye Works is a Victoria company, Victoria, Canada, and I would definitely recommend getting on their mailing list if you can. They do often have stuff in their shop, but when they add things, they will always send out an email, and that's the best way to get a specific colorway if you're, you know, looking for something off of their Instagram or something, because they do kind of like lots of each of their colors. So yeah, I would recommend checking them out. They're beautiful dyers. And then the other project I started, this is living in one of my large zipper bags, and it's full. I have to say that if you're planning a worsted weight sweater, you might want to upgrade to the Finch bucket size, my XL size in the shop, because I've always called this a sweater size, but it's more like a fingering weight sweater size, or a small person sweater size. I need to really start thinking about that as far as like inclusivity, because I've been telling people that they can fit a sweater quantity of yarn in here and it's really tight. So that's on me, but it just barely fits. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are 50-gram balls, and I started out with 8 of this, and then 3 of my contrast colors in here, and that's pretty much filled the bag up. So just to give you an idea, I have one skein, or I have 100 grams, like 2 50-gram skeins left in case I need them. I'm not sure if I'm going to or not, because the sweater's a little short too. So this is it looks so good. It's a little brighter here than it is in person. I would say these colors are a little bit more muted in real life. But this is my Throwover sweater by Andrea Mowry. This is actually the back, that little fox is the beginning of my round. So this is the front here. And I love it. I've been wanting to knit this for a while. I found these 3 colors. This is Knit Picks yarn again online, and was really, really pleased when they showed up and looked like they did on the screen. And combined with this sort of charcoal color, you can see I got really hooked on the yoke, and it went really fast actually. I haven't done any color work in a while, so that was really fun. And yeah, I've just been cranking away on this for like the last maybe 2 weeks or so, and I've put a lot of progress on. I took the sleeves off maybe 2 or 3 days ago, and then yesterday I was in town. I got a good chunk of the body done, a couple inches. I took John to town. He had to get some dental work done. He had to get some teeth pulled. So I had some knitting time yesterday, waiting in the ferry and in the car at the office, the dentist office, and things like that. But I'm really, really in love with this. This is a great weight of a sweater. I have a couple colorwork yoke sweaters, but they are lopey, so they're a bit thicker, and they're great, but they're really warm. This is Wool of the Andes worsted weight that I'm using. So they're 50-gram balls, and they are 110 yards. So they're pretty much the same yardage as the Simply Wool for the Nurtured sweater. I'm a big fan of Knit Picks. I have quite a few Knit Picks sweaters just because for like solid or semi-solid colors, like heathered colors, they just have really good prices, and you can't really indie dye heathers like this. This is happening in the milling process where they're combining colors. So that is my main color, and it is called Onyx Heather. And then my contrast colors, I have this pink, which is the Blossom Heather. I always choose the heathers because they just have a lot of depth in their colors, and I think they just look nicer than their solid tones. This is the Fjord Heather. Really beautiful, like bluey green. And then this is the Brass Heather, which is like a gold orangey kind of color. And I think it has a really like kind of like vintage vibe. This is making me think of my grandmother for sure, my mom's mom. This is totally her jam. So she would have loved these colors. So yeah, so I'm finished the interesting part, which is kind of annoying because there's like so much stocking at now, but this one is a little bit shorter than say a traditional sweater anyways. So I think you're supposed to knit the body about 9 inches or something like that. So we'll see. I might do a little bit longer than that. And then I was watching Cozy Up Knits, and one of the girls, I think it was Sarah, made one of these. And then they repeated this little stripe detail here, just this chart. They repeated on the bottom of their sweater before the ribbing, and then they repeated it, I think, on the sleeves right here before the cuffs. So I think I'm going to do that, just to use up a little bit of this yarn because I have leftovers anyways and I don't have plans for it. And it just looked really sharp. Yeah, was it Sarah? Either way, Cozy Up Knits podcast. They showed it a few weeks back. They podcast like every week, but I definitely got inspiration from those ladies. I think Sarah did one, and then her sister did another one in kind of these like sort of vintagey colors. And I think that's where I originally got the inspiration for this. So yeah, we'll see how long this takes. We'll see, at the progress I'm making right now, it might take like 2 more weeks. Like it might be done next time I record, or who knows, it could take like a month if I get, or like months if I get distracted by something else. But I'm loving the pattern so far. The color work is really fun, and it's been a while since I knit a worsted weight sweater, and I think after knitting the Nurtured, I realized how much quicker they are than fingering weight sweaters. So I was just wanted to keep on that train. I have a fingering weight color work sweater. It's all over color work. It's another Andrea Mowry pattern. It's a stone crop. And I started that last year, and I don't think I've touched it for a year. So definitely feeling the faster projects right now, but have to get back to that stone crop because it's going to be beautiful when it's done. I just have to slog through it. So yeah, so that's my plans. I'm just going to keep working away at that. I have a note, like a May goal for myself to finish one of my older projects up. So I think I'm going to pull my brioche Harlow hat out and finish that. And I'm going to try and finish a quilt this month. I don't know how that's going to go. I have a top that's finished and it just needs to be quilted. So if I can get that basted and get the quilting process started this month, I'll be happy with that. So those are my goals. I'm trying to be a little bit more organized month to month with what I want to accomplish, because if I write out a weekly list for myself, it'll take me like 2 or 3 weeks to finish everything that I think is going to take me a week. So I'm trying to do monthly lists now and trying to be realistic about them so that I can actually get everything done, because I have a lot going on with like the garden's going really hard right now, and then we've been working on stuff in the house. We painted our bathroom, which didn't take a while to paint, but we redid the lighting in there and shelving. So it was a little bit of a process, but it looks amazing. So really happy that that's finished. And I think for the rest of the season, we'll probably work on outdoor projects and maybe do something in here, like in the house in the winter. I still want to paint this room, but it's still fun. I still like the blue. So at some point it'll get painted properly, because this is the last room that hasn't been painted in the house since we moved in 2015. I just painted this one wall, that teal color, but the rest of the, I'm just looking at it. I'm like, the ceiling and the walls need to be painted and the trim needs to be done too. So that's going to get done later. So for the summer, we're going to concentrate on some outdoor projects, maybe do a little bit of painting and refinishing on the deck outside. John and I went camping. We went camping twice this month, just to our local hike-in campground. It's right on the ocean. It's really beautiful, and it's about 2.5 or 3 kilometers to hike in, so it's not too bad. And the weather's been, we're getting typical spring weather here, where we'll have like a lot of rain and then a few days of sun. So when it's been sunny out, I've just been trying to take that opportunity. John and I went in together once, and then I hiked in on my own last week and stayed for a night. And that was just really nice to get out. I'm hoping that we'll be able to do some more hiking trips around Vancouver Island this season. So looking forward to that. Let me know what your summer plans are. I'm sure, you're probably going to be staying kind of close to home still, but it is sort of feeling like we're getting a little bit more freedom. I got my first vaccination just last week, so I'm feeling hopeful about some of the travel restrictions being relaxed a bit, and maybe not until the fall. So we're planning on sticking close to Vancouver Island and our little island over this summer, but then maybe in the fall, might get home to see my family in Ontario or something like that. So yeah, I think that's all I want to talk to you about today. I have some stuff going in the Etsy shop this week, Friday or Saturday, but I don't really have much to show right now. It's sort of all in pieces. So it's going to be patchwork in kind of like a mix of like greens and blues and yellows, that sort of thing. So patchwork bags, and then I'll probably use some of the leftovers and do a round of lavender pouches. But if you are interested, there is still stuff in the shop. I showed you some of the butterfly prints last time, and there are still lots of those. Well, not lots, but there's a few of those left in the shop. And then I added a lot of face masks, some really unique ones done by like Ruby Star Society, and just some panels that have like faces on them and stuff, so it looks like you have red lipstick on when your mask is on, that sort of thing. And I've put all the face masks on sale this month for 20% off. So they're really actually quite inexpensive. I got a good deal on some of the panels, so I was able to pass that along to you. So yeah, have a look at the shop if you are interested. There is always something interesting in the shop. There's always something. I've always got something going in there. And if you are interested in checking out the update, it's probably going to be on Friday, which is the 14th. But I may push it till Saturday. But if you want to check me out on Instagram, that's the best place to keep updated. I am going to put a link tree down below. So the link tree link will give you options to go to all my social media and my Etsy shop as well. So yeah, I think I'll wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining me today to chat about knitting. Let me know about your ideas for knit-alongs, and also let me know what your plans are for this summer months. And yeah, hope you're doing well. Hope you're safe and happy, and we'll see you again in a few weeks. Take care.